All right, welcome to the Wednesday, March 8th meeting of the West Springfield Conservation Commission, hereby called to order at 6 p.m. Welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the West Springfield Conservation Commission. My name is Kevin Cote, chairperson. I'll be presiding over the meeting tonight. In accordance with MGL Chapter 30A, intending to tape the meeting must identify themselves to the clerk, provide their name and address for the record. The Conservation Commission is videotaping tonight's meeting, and it is being shown live on cable access TV and computer applications and social media platforms. We inform those present that any document that is to be considered or discussed should be made part of the record of the meeting. Original or a copy should be submitted to the committee before will be any discussion regarding that document. Documents would include photos, plans, drawings, printouts, letters, presentations, and the like. I want to thank everyone for taking and I'm going to give each commission member an opportunity to identify themselves for the public and the record, starting with Judy.
Judy LaFleche.
Andy Cox.
John Goddard.
Mark Noonan, Conservation Agent.
Okay, again, I'm Kevin Cote. The procedures we'll be following during the meeting tonight are as follows. Project reps will make their presentation. Members of the commission, our staff, and I will ask questions of the project proponents, and then questions will be taken from the general public. If you do wish to speak, we ask that you raise your hand to be recognized by the chair, and please state your name clearly for the record if you do speak. Okay, so there's our intro. On to our agenda. Got a chance to review the agenda, commissioners?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Motion
to accept.
Is there a motion to accept? There is. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're going to get the hang of this someday. Public participation. Is anybody here for an item that is not on the agenda? Okay. We're going to move to the Block Brook Watershed Study, or are we doing that?
Yeah, we do that first because he's scheduled for 6:10. Sorry. Do that first.
That's what's on the agenda.
Yeah. So anyway, I applied for a FEMA grant under the Building Resilient Infrastructure in Communities and got the grant, but it needed some match, and I kind of made the assumption that we could probably use the fee account for it. So I just wanted to be reassured that I could. It's $9,600. That's about what's in the account. Anyway, and the idea is to give some basis for asking for additional money in the future for doing flood stuff. Maybe you would appreciate this, early warning systems to the people that live on Block Brook that there may be flooding at the head wall and that it could be coming to you soon, so you might want to prepare, things like that. So I was just looking for the commission's endorsement.
Okay, so we've got grant approval. We have to kick in 50%, and then we'll get
No, 25%.
25%.
Yeah, it was actually very generous.
And this money is coming from the state or the feds?
Through the feds through the state.
Feds
so
through
MEMA,
the state.
Yeah.
Got it.
I budgeted it that way, but I said, I better go ask the commission.
Okay. And so what we hope to gain from conducting this study will be an understanding of what other projects we might be able to fund or apply for grant money to fund for various flood infrastructure improvements.
One of the big things that's been going on for years is there's the belief that the Route 20 culvert is too small and tends to cause water to back up. So people that live, including Mr. Kane, the water backs up in there and floods. But one of the things that the commission years ago in the 60s and 70s proposed was even creating floodplains in areas where they weren't developed so that the water would go that way instead of into people's houses. So those are the types of things.
Got it. Other quick questions, commissioners?
No, but I'll make a quick statement. I think this is an excellent use of the Conservation Fund money, supporting really a rather grand idea to solve some long-standing issues and make meaningful change.
Thank you, John.
I guess I just wanted to clarify if it says like you'll be seeking quotes. Do we know this is enough?
We did.
Okay.
We actually was higher. We had a higher quote.
Okay, so we've got a quote that's
We got a quote
within
that-
terms. If
yes.
we approve it, we're good to go.
We're good to go.
Judy, did you have any comments or feedback?
Only when I read it, it talked about some of the money would be for educating the public, and I wondered what that would involve.
We're going to have a public hearing at some point when they do their study and have a finding. Then we'll share that with the neighborhood and the community.
Okay.
Motion to approve funding?
I second it.
All in favor of a vote to approve the funding?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that's unanimous.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Good luck, Mark. All right, next up, we have a request for determination of applicability. Let me read my statement. Okay, notice is hereby given under the provisions of MGL Chapter 131, Section 40. A public hearing will be held on Wednesday, March 8th, 2023 at 6:10 p.m. regarding a request for determination of applicability submitted by Joseph Kane to determine if work to remove limbs, clean up previous fallen tree debris, and remove a large tree overhanging its home in 41 Plymouth Terrace requires additional permitting from the Conservation Commission, or if the work may be completed under a negative determination of applicability. Work is proposed in bordering lands subject to flooding and riverfront resource areas of Block Brook. In addition to the publication of this notice in the West Springfield Record, it will be posted on the Massachusetts Newspaper Publisher Association website. Meeting will be held here in the Justin Morgan Auditorium. Okay. Mr. Kane, please take the podium. Just give us your name for the record and a just brief summary of the project.
Sure. Joseph Kane, 41 Plymouth Terrace. We have a large tree in the corner. I had submitted pictures with the submission, but it's a large tree in the corner of our house that's overhanging. There's some bittersweet that's grown up over it for years, it looks like. Several limbs have already fallen, so we're just nervous about it hitting the house. So we're hoping to get it removed. We do have a dead limb, too. That partial fell in my neighbor's yard, so we're trying to get that cleaned up for him as well.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions here? We've got the photo up here from Mark on the screen, which is what everyone's looking at.
The blue is the flood.
That's the floodplain, and then that's the tree kind of right there, closest.
Right
Is it
on the corner.
Evergreen or the deciduous one?
All those evergreens were already removed
All right.
prior.
Okay, so it's the, this is an older photo. So we got more recent.
I have a question, just in terms of the plan to do the work. Is this something, is there any heavy equipment or,
There is a crane. I believe it's going to be run from the street.
okay, so
To
that'll
lift it
sit
up.
outside
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
street and then they'll reach over
Yeah.
and
Grab it.
pull it out? Okay, that's good to know. John?
Any intentions for stump removal or just
No,
cutting flush?
Yeah, I was under the impression after talking to Mark, we should keep the stump there and let it be,
Thank you.
Judy or Andy, any questions? Mark, did you want to provide any color?
No, I sent out draft conditions. We've had a couple of conversations when he first bought the property, and usually you don't like the stump removed. I mean, I think that's, up to you, but it's so close to the brook, it's, weakens the bank, so.
Mr. Kane, did you get a chance to review these
Yes, yep.
conditions? Any questions, any concerns?
No.
Okay.
Is there any specific, the tree company said they could put up fencing or anything? Is there anything specific you would recommend if we were able to move forward?
Well, I guess my point was, if there's no soil disturbance, which probably when you're stumping it down to the lowest, you
Yeah.
can get it, I doubt you might have a little, but just put hay down or something
Okay.
to keep it from going into the brook
Okay.
later, because you don't want it to erode into the brook, that's the point.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna do the crane,
Yeah.
like,
should
they
be-
strap that
yeah.
thing, cut it at the bottom and just,
Yeah. Okay.
and all the work really happens in the street, which is ideal from our perspective, because
Okay.
everything's pulled away from the house, so it's really perfect.
Okay.
Judy?
So do you already have a company in mind?
Yeah, we've already gotten a quote.
Oh, who is it?
Green site?
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that was in the application, I think I sent it to everybody. but-
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other feedback or questions? John, did you? No question. Okay. Mark, anything else? No. Yeah, I think if everyone's good with the conditions, I think this would look like a -3.
-3 with conditions, so you'd close the hearing and -3, issue a -3 with conditions, and I'll send it to you again with all the signatures and stuff.
All right. Last chance, any other feedback? I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
I second it.
I'll give it to you, Judy. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, all in favor there. And so if there is such a motion on the floor, I'd be looking for a motion to issue a -3 with the conditions as written.
Motion to issue a -3 with these conditions.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all in favor. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. In general, I prefer not to make the motions since I'm the chair. I don't want to unduly influence everyone, so if you're all convinced of the merits of any project, you feel free to throw it out there and try to be as administrative as possible. Unless it's an enforcement, then I get upset. All right. Request for a certificate of compliance. I believe we had a request for a continuance on this one, 330-0383.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can move right along then. I believe we're ready for an update on the next one, which is enforcement. This is 330-0385, 1080 Riverdale.
Correct.
I see you in the audience there, John.
How goes it? I actually haven't been out there.
Good evening, everybody. John Furman from VHB. They been monitoring what's going on out there on site. We presented a plan last meeting. Mark met us out there. We had the actually pre-construction meeting. I typed up notes from that and distributed them to Mark and the group. It was a good meeting. We were able to walk through the process of how we want to basically fix and pull things out of the wetland. When we got through, now I'll circle back to that. When we were walking out, Mark actually noticed that outside of the wetlands, but still in the resource area, it had snowed the night before, so it was everything was kind of covered. But we noticed like another fairly large pile of debris, and there was a piece of concrete sticking up out of that, which had not noticed before because the stuff was covering it. And so when we asked the owner about it, he really knew nothing. But what we ended up doing is tying that in to the tree removal. We have 2 trees to remove that are inside the detention basin. They're fairly large. And the silt fence is on this side of it. So in order to kind of get a place to start, we started at that pile that Mark had found. And I didn't bring my computer with me. I'm sorry. I was out in the field. Let's see. How's this going to see? All right. Well, I'll just hold it up. Never mind the screen. This is the area where we were, the detention basin. And all our work, you can see that pile of concrete rubble. Well, just to the south of it, there's another large pile of debris there. And it has a kind of a definite break. It's elevated an area about this high, then goes down, and then you get into like natural material. So that's where we decided to start. So the marching orders is that they're going to put up some, like a core log, take down the section of fence, pull all that material out, and then reposition the fence once they have it in there. And they don't believe there's anything buried there. They believe it's just all official dump stuff. Once they do that, the fence will be on the other side of the tree. They'll take that tree down, which is a fairly large, was it a cottonwood, you thought, Mark? that big, yeah. And even though that the detention basin it can stay there, it's got some fairly large branches that hang over it, so they thought it was best to take it down. Once they get that down, they can then go after that pile that's shown on our plan, which is the concrete that got buried. And then now they have a fairly decent platform to work with, and they're going to work kind of counterclockwise. They're going to start latching on to whatever material they can with the lull and a strap and drag it out. Then we get to the center area where there was that pile of material that was dumped there. Mark had a great idea to kind of take the top of that off, and then that creates a platform for the machine to kind of sit on. They're going to be using a small machine. And then they can reach either side, strap the material, drag it out, and then kind of walk themselves out, scraping it as they go. And then that would really be the last piece of work. So we had an email from Mark. It was late on Friday that he accepted our notice, and it was the start of the 48-hour work to correct this, not any more work on the basin. So I forwarded that to the contractor, and I said, so 48 hours actually starts today. It doesn't include Saturday and Sunday, so you can get out here on Wednesday. And so I was calling around to the guys to try and figure out where they were. Apparently, the contractor's in the hospital, so nothing happened today. And John called me before the meeting. He couldn't make it tonight. So I'm not sure what's going to get done this week. I'm trying to get a handle on what's happening and where they're going with it. But I will keep Mark posted, and in any event, since the stop work for this issue has been lifted, I'll put a report in at the end of the week. I'll start my reports this week and just say kind of like what happened and what didn't happen. And that's where we go.
Okay. Any questions, commissioners? No? Mark? No. All right. Thank you,
right.
John. Appreciate the update.
Anytime. Thank you.
Okay. I believe we also had a request for a continuance on 115 Bernie. Is that right? Did I see that?
We were out on 115 Bernie on Tuesday, so there's not been enough time for the designer, R. Levesque, to review possible solutions yet and get back to us. So they asked to continue to next meeting.
Okay, that's fine. All right, and I think our last order of business is the MyTree software tool presentation.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
Brian,
Dave Boniars. I'm from the U.S. Forest Service, and I also live in Springfield. And I'm just here to give the commission just an idea that I had that we're implementing around the globe, actually. And as usual, should I go up there?
Yeah, Brian will get you squared away.
And the only reason I'm here is because of Judy LaFleche, okay? I spent time with her talking about the whole thing of getting a tree committee and the tree warden or city forester and all that, and the rest is history. And here's Marcus now, and I've known Mark since he was in kindergarten, and I know Kevin's brother, Dan, who was a great kid at UMass. He's probably a grown-up adult turning into an old man like me now, but
Pretty much.
we could, I just want to show you this. We won't take more than 10 minutes. This works. Perfect.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Okay, so sweet. So I've been working at the Forest Service for a long time, and about 10 years ago we developed a tool called iTree, and it means the inventory of tree resources, economic and environmental. And what we do is we look at trees in a way that looks at how many we have, like we call the structure, how many maples, how many ash, how many elm, what are the size of the trees, and then we look at the function, what are they doing as far as what we call ecosystem benefits or ecosystem services. So how much rainfall do they intercept? How much carbon do they store? How much carbon do they sequester? How many tons or ounces or pounds of particulate matter do they pick up, especially the particulate matter below 2.5 microns in size that go into kids' lungs. So, you know, we can show that trees can have a pronounced effect on asthma rates and hospitalization rates, emergency room visits, and missed school in young adults, and also respiratory issues in older adults. So we've always, at the Forest Service, knew all of that. But now, over the last years, we've put together, using the science that we have, peer-reviewed science, working with our partners at universities around the world, we've put together this tool. And then, so now we know what we have, we know what it's doing, and then from there, we can tell you the value in economic terms. So, for instance, if you go into a mayor's office, a city council, or conservation commission, and we say, oh, those trees are nice, you can't cut them down. Like the tree you just approved for the removal, the resident came in, and so you remove it. But in the grand scheme of things, you want to look at how much does that cost? How many gallons of water now? I don't know if there's a stream right there or anything. How much is being, and I just calculated it's about 10,000 gallons a year is not going to be intercepted by the tree anymore. It's going to go right into the water. So multiply that. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing, and that isn't where you would probably apply it. But I've been at a couple commission meetings here, and I was on the commission in Springfield for 6 years, and trees were sort of over there, and the wetlands and protection of the wetlands and the water resources and all of that was really paramount, which is, you know, that's, but we're trying to get the trees in that. So I'm just giving you a simple, easy to use tool on iTree. There's a whole bunch of iTree things. Do you have an iTree analysis down here in the Merrick neighborhood?
I've actually done an analysis for the whole city, which is, it's kind of skewed because there's a lot of green spaces in West Springfield. You know, like, my analysis included all of Bear Hole, all of Mitnick, and all of the smaller acreage.
Why don't you come up to the microphone? That way we won't get to our millions of viewers on TV will not be able to hear you.
So the analysis that I did included all of Mitnick, all of Bear Hole, and all of the small conservation areas that the Mark has so graciously conserved. So it's a little skewed, but we're over 40% in our tree canopy. But in the Merrick neighborhood, it's really low. It's like at 18%, which is, that's bad. And even the Memorial neighborhood was also really low. And a lot of the EJ neighborhoods going up Elm Street, closer to like East Elm, is also really poor because of the storms that have hit that area. So our staff, the forestry staff, I'm the tree warden. I've met Judy, she was on the tree committee. I haven't met any of the conservation committee people, but our staff, we're working to kind of reforest a lot of the neighborhoods that were hit hard from the storms in the recent past. And currently, we're trying to get funding from MVP to establish a greenhouse or a nursery, and potentially a greenhouse at Mitnick. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically about it.
All right.
I mean, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free.
Stay right there.
Yeah.
He'll stay right here. So for the folks listening, Marcus mentioned EJ neighborhoods. That's environmental justice neighborhoods. And those are in the work that I do at the Forest Service, our most important neighborhoods, because they're faced with a whole variety of things, and it's primarily environmental injustice, that they don't have access to good quality green space, that they don't have tree cover, that they don't have many of the other things that go along with just, you know, in a poorer neighborhood, or those type of things. The other thing you mentioned was MVP, which is a municipal vulnerability program money that comes in from the state every year, that comes out of the, I believe, Executive Office of Energy and the Environment. And that provides our cities and towns a lot of money to do great things, and that'd be a great use of that to have a nursery over here. I know Springfield, Nate Morell is here, he's a city arborist in Springfield, and you planted up how many trees over there in the nursery in Springfield that was paid for by MVP money when you were the city, assistant city forester?
So we spent around $10,000, and it got us around 250 trees to plant in that nursery, so.
But that was paid for by MVP, so just consider that. But I'm not here to talk about MVP or anything, but I'm trying to raise the awareness of trees just in general with you guys. And I know Well, we had a short agenda today, so that was good. But why don't I show you just what we have on iTree? So iTree has about 9 different parts of it, okay? And it means the inventory of tree resources, economic and environmental. And it has a name with a dash in it because Apple gave us a cease and desist order when we started it because they said anything with a small I is trademarked for them. So it's a true story. And we own Smokey the Bear is my boss in Washington, D.C. So we have a whole trademark department that are filled with these lawyers. So they had to meet with Apple and had the discussions about what we could do, and Apple agreed, well, just put a dash in it and we'll be happy, okay? The lawyers weren't smart enough to see that it was this emerging company, because this was a long time ago, and they never asked for any money. They should have said, hey, we want to build a partnership with you, and who knows, we'd have Smokey the Bear walking around with a smartphone and we'd have iTree on it, okay? We do have Woodsy the Owl doing that now, because Woodsy the Owl's 30 years old, and we're using that as part of our deal. So let me just show you this, and I'll shut up. But and if you want to have us come and demonstrate or show, Marcus knows it. Marcus was my student at UMass too, so you have a great kid here, guy, gentleman. I'm an old man, I can say that, but
That's right.
He worked hard to get his degree, and it's something that he's bringing here to the city. So you're lucky and fortunate to have him. So I'll just shut up. So here I go. And so what I'll do is, does anyone know the address of the, hopefully this will work. What's the address of Town Hall?
26 Central Street,
Is it City Hall now or Town Hall?
Town Hall,
Municipal office.
Ah,
MOB,
what's the number?
26 Central Street.
Okay, let's see if we can do this, if it works. Now, I didn't test it today, because sometimes it's a little hiccupy.
So there's one in particular that I want you to do.
Okay, so I'm putting in West Springfield, Ma, and I go to search. Come on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Did you need the Wi-Fi?
No, I'm on Wi-Fi right here, 5G. Hang on, everybody at home. Why isn't it?
Well, it's interesting, while you're doing that.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, sorry.
Of course it goes to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
What is it, 26?
Central.
Yeah, so while you're doing that, I'm just going to say, I was out with a guy who's doing a subdivision, one of our newer subdivisions, and his idea is, oh, I want to cut down every tree. And I said, do you know what that's going to do to the amount of water that you're going to produce on site that you didn't think of? Oh, no, that's fine. So he has no concept, and it would be great to have something, a tool like this to say, hey, you're going to create 10,000 gallons or whatever gallons of more water that you haven't even thought of.
All right, so here, I've got in here, and there's the central, that's the building. Marcus, which tree is it? That one right there. It's because we just need to get the address. Once I got the address, all of those trees there, I just need to know the size and kind they are. So right now, I just make sure I'm at your building, and then I would just go describe my tree. And so right now, it's at 26 Central. I could change it. And what kind of tree is it, a maple?
It's a sugar maple.
There it is, a sugar maple. And that's the common name. If you want the scientific name, Judy, and you want to start learning your tree names, that's the Aeschysacanum. And we can go back. And then here's the condition. I assume because you're taking care of it's in excellent condition?
Nope, it's in fair condition.
Oh, well, we're going to keep it in good condition
All
because
right.
it'll show a better value. Okay, I'm demonstrating
So,
the value.
yeah, so that one on the west side is in fair condition. The two on the east side over there, they're in good condition. So
Okay.
if you want to
No, I'm
compare
gonna-
those two, if you're looking at them in the summertime when you've got a good, a nice canopy right there, you can look at that one. It looks kind of sparse.
All right, since it's
Yeah.
fair, I don't want to, I represent the federal government, and we're very honest people, so I don't want to be giving any misinformation. I'm going to say it's a fair country, fair trade.
All right, fair.
And from the federal government, I'm here to help. What number we got? How big is it?
We'll say it's 34 inches
Okay,
diameter.
so for you guys, or us folks, 34 inches is the diameter of a tree. That's how we measure it, at 4.5 feet up. It's called the DBH, diameter at breast height. And so if you went out with a tailor tape from Yale Genton, and when they went out of business, you'd grab a tailor tape that the tailor wore around his neck. You could go out and you could measure it like this. Oh, it's 106 inches around. That's the circumference. So using your old math with the kids that I work with in third grade, we use the pi r squared, which we divide by 3.14, circumference turns into diameter. So, because I'm dealing with Marcus here, and he's a professional, and Nate's a certified arborist, we're gonna talk in diameter terms. I'm gonna say it's in the full sun, and we're gonna say, yes, it's within 60 feet of a building. How old is the building? Very old. No, was it built between 50 and 80, you think? Yeah. And then a distance from there to the building, I'm gonna guess 20 to, I'm gonna say it's 20 feet away. Okay, now what is the direction to the building from south? To the building?
So the building from the tree,
No, I'm
Yeah,
standing at
yeah.
the tree,
the building would be north.
north. Okay, see, it says it right here. Direction from the tree to the nearest building, north, okay? So I'm gonna go here, and we have some optional fields that we don't have to use right now. But if you want, you can say, yes, I'm gonna put it in the million tree thing, a million tree initiative, and it will actually mark the location on a map, and it will go into the million tree or trillion tree, whatever number it is this year that we're trying to plant around the world. But for this, I'm just showing you this, and I'm gonna go add more trees or get results. And there it is. Okay, my first tree is there. Marcus, do you want to do the other tree too?
Let's add the two other ones.
All right.
Okay, we'll just add
They're in a
the,
little hurry.
yeah, we'll add one of the other
So
ones
now
on
I
the,
got a
on the
sugar
west
maple
side.
Here, this one I'm gonna say is in excellent condition, the same size, same thing, right? I'm gonna add another tree, there it is. Then we're gonna add one more, right?
Yeah,
Then I'll show you. Did it add it? Why didn't it add it, everybody? You see it, Marcus? That's an excellent, right? So
I think you replaced your fair tree with an excellent tree.
We just edited the condition of the last tree.
Yeah, because I'm not,
Yeah, fix the trunk size.
let's just say that some days I'm off. Oh, no, it's,
no, no. it's,
Sugar maple.
okay, we're good?
Yep,
With trunk size, no.
no,
34?
that's, yeah, they're relatively the same.
Okay. Let's hope there's two trees here now. There are. Okay, we're gonna add a new tree, and now I'm gonna add the fair one, okay? So we're still at the same address. And I'm gonna go here to my sugar. I'm gonna go here, 34, okay? And I will be done in a minute. And it's in the full sun. And, we didn't do this the last time. Watch.
Yeah.
There, and this, right? Now watch this. I have to go back and do this one. I have to edit it, because I never, oh, we did, right? There's that.
You just need to make that one fair.
What?
You just need to make the condition of that one fair,
That's the first one.
because that's the first one.
Yeah, but I don't know what order they put them in the list. Let's see. But I think I forgot the distance to the building.
I think the second one, you got to get the building info, yeah.
I knew I did something. Just to be honest, I don't use this every day. So, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, what
So
kind of
if-
questions do you have?
If, say we wanted to, we had somebody coming in and we said, oh, you know, you want to cut down a bunch of trees, could you run this in iTree? Is it accessible to the average person, or
Oh,
do
yeah.
you have to have a subscription?
No, it's very accessible, it's all free. The whole iTree series is all free.
Plus, if you're doing 10 trees on a site, you know, they want to come in and build a new place, and you did a little inventory site assessment. We have a thing called iTree planting, which sort of replicates this. It does the same kind of math behind it, the modeling, and you wouldn't have to go through all these steps. You just import your Excel spreadsheet, and it would calculate it. Okay, so, Kevin, you think we have the last one done?
That one I think we got, yeah.
We got it?
You got your building.
So we're good to go, everybody. So now I have my 3 trees in here, and we can calculate and show you each one, or I can calculate all trees. So let's just go with all trees. And here's our benefits today. So we have 3 trees. The estimated value on the carbon trading market is only $109. Multiply that times the 22,000 other trees in the city that are public, and it adds up. But here's some things. Water mitigation, 565 gallons of water runoff, 4,000 of rainfall intercepted. We have ounces right here, 46 ounces of ozone is intercepted or taken out of the atmosphere. Sulfur dioxide, parts per million right here, 2 ounces. So 2 ounces doesn't seem a lot, but these are just 3 trees in front of the building here. So you multiply this over, but towards what your entire city, and here we have carbon dioxide uptake is valued at carbon storage 18,000 pounds and 68,000 equivalent. And you can look up right here if you need to read the fine print. Everything is spelled out for you what we have here. Plus you can go to our website right here to learn even more. So, and then if I want to look at it over 20 years, and if you go into planting, you could say project ahead 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 80 years, 100 years, all the way up to 100 years. So the idea here is we're just giving you something that is in plain English that shows you some numbers and values. Does 2.6 ounces of particulate matter matter? I don't know. I can't tell you that. I'm a scientist, but I'm not a doctor. So those are the kind of things we're trying to look at now. Do these things make a difference?
But I will tell you that the air quality in this area, in you know, lower Pioneer Valley, is horrible. And Springfield had the highest asthma rates in the country for a long time.
Yeah, we're 19th right now in the country.
We're at a lower altitude than Springfield. We have that same, you know, the density of air is pushing down upon West Springfield.
You got to take a look at this too. Watch. This is what you guys should get behind.
So I have a question on the eye tree while you're pulling the other thing up. So if we had theoretically, if we had someone coming in with a project, they were going to say, build, do some work at a site. They've got some trees they're going to take down, and then they have a planting plan that they're going to implement once they do their work. So in theory, we could run the existing through this and get an understanding of what benefits we're getting today. And we could run through what we're going to do for planting proposal, what that does in the future, and kind of get weigh the scales, so to speak.
Yeah, so
We did that in Springfield. Western Eversource wanted to cut down some trees. So we calculate, I don't know if you were there then. Yet,
No,
but,
I don't think so.
It's right, Nate, it's right over near the park, that side, whatever street it was. They wanted to cut all the trees down under the wires, and then we said, okay, let's plant smaller stature trees, blah, 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 and then we'll put them back on private property, the whole 9 yards. But we calculated the value of those trees today, and then how much would be lost removing them. Then we calculated the planting, and then we calculated how many years would it take for the new smaller trees to reach that same level of services, ecosystem services. It was 7 years. So we were able to talk to the city, and that was Ed Casey at that time, and he said, let's go for it. So Eversource was happy. They got rid of these trees that were always breaking branches and falling. The people got brand new trees, and we were able to show in 7 years they're going to have a healthy tree that's going to be far outweighing the trees they had now that are on the decline, which decrease in value every year. The new plantings increase in value. So that's pretty cool. But you could do the same thing. And
So we could do Memorial Avenue. So the new reconstruction, we're removing 65 trees that are currently there. We're saving 8. And we're planting 245. So we could look at those 65 trees we're removing and the 245 trees we're gaining over there and see, in 10 years, what do we have? What have we gained as far as environmental benefits?
yeah, and that's why if you put that 245 trees into planting, you'd have these numbers, and you could tell a story. What is the town record, your newspaper here? Mm-hmm. They love stories like that. And if we could teach or explain to people that these trees are important and why they're valuable, it's not, trees look nice. We have to go beyond that, And so we turned this into using iTree with Mayor Bloomberg in one afternoon. We brought him in and we showed him some things in New York City, and he committed on the spot $40 million to the forestry program in a one afternoon meeting with our Forest Service team because he was blown away by it. Because he said, I just thought trees looked nice. And we said, no. And so we were able to show him, hospitalization rates, missed school, missing work, all of these things that cost so much. Kevin, I'm going to show you one last thing.
All right.
Okay. Oh, this is what you guys got to get involved in. I'm involved in this project here with the Forest Service, Yale University School of Public Health, the Asthma Coalition, the Western Mass, oh my Public Health Council and UMass. And we have a thing here, it's called the Healthy Air Network. And we have these sensors, these sensors all over this area that you can look at. We don't have any in West Springfield, do we?
We were supposed to get them, and then the health department couldn't figure out how to deploy them
Okay,
financially, so.
We want to help you to do that, but I can go here now.
Well, I'd be interested, because
You
we
should,
wanted
right
it for
here.
Bear Hole.
This is in, this is Springfield. This has air quality of 6. It goes from 0 to 300. So 6 is a good air day. But if we look at this on a hot summer day with the ozone, you'll see we're at 90, 85, terrible. And we're breaking it out, and this is all being driven by, sorry, I'm just not good at this. We have citizen advisors that are helping us with this project. So they, like your folks in Merrick section, or the folks up in Mittig, or the folks over on Pheasant, what is it called?
Pheasants have.
Pheasants Crossing.
Pheasant,
You could put one of these sensors up there. And so you could compare Pheasants Crossing to the air quality in Merrick, and there's gonna be a big difference. And that's what I do in my real job, is to ask why there's a big difference. Because I work in cities around the world, like, from Kathmandu to New Delhi and Paris, wherever I work, we are trying to make sure that there's an environmental equity. And so that's just me bragging about my great job I have and all that. But the point is, you guys, if you can get involved in this, Mark, I'll get you all the details. And even if you look close, I don't know. See, once you get locked, don't leave things up to Yale University to create for you, because they don't like to test things. But, no, seriously.
But yeah,
But
these little,
watch, here,
little
here.
canisters are probably the size of a soda can, you can mount them anywhere. And we
Yeah,
can
and we
get,
had talked about, so we were doing a grant for Mittig Park, and we thought, well, we should have one there as an urban heat island, and then put a control out in Bear Hole, because that's the only area that's not in
yeah,
heat island.
yeah.
This is important. Here's the quality sensor, air quality sensor. There's the governor, she's out at our Earth Day Festival in Springfield. She came out and she held one of these in her hand. Here she is again. Here's yours truly. Here's one at the Springfield Science Museum. This is one at one of our schools. This is one of my students up on a pole. This is the science. But anyway, so you can do these, and there's some of the team in Springfield. There's Alex Sherman, our city forester. So take a look at this, and if you want to go somewhere in here, it has about, I'll show you a great picture. This is what it's all about right there, because we're doing this for the people. Okay, so Kev, I want to show you one thing, much I'm calling Kevin. Kevin,
Yeah,
excuse me.
you're on a short name basis right now.
Share, please. Comfortable here.
Yeah, well, he called you a conservation committee, a commission,
yeah.
because they have, they're a commission. They
Oh, yeah,
have-
no, it's
they
very
have-
different.
They have legal powers.
Yes,
A
yeah,
committee's
Yeah,
just,
watch out.
yeah.
a committee just gives out those
You
badges.
don't want to find yourself in that enforcement section.
Oh, no,
That's
definitely
fun.
not.
Kevin, you're gonna do this one, it's gonna be called I Tree Reserve.
Well, one of the things I was thinking on as a possible mitigation for the billboard site was having the money go to Marcus, plant the street treescape so that you had a vertical, replacement for the trees that were topped, and then calculate the difference between what the topping of the trees did.
Yeah,
And, we control the tree belt anyway, so that would be a way to do it. It's not in a resource area, but as they grow up, raptors and things would use the trees to.
yeah.
to
So are we thinking
hunt.
like inch for inch replacement?
Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting to do the analysis of what the topping did to the.
Yeah.
to- Yeah, and then try to quantify it.
Okay.
I'll just show you this one last one, I'll let you off the hook.
So, I mean, so
Design.
from the gentleman that was removing the tree on 41 Plymouth Street, I mean, I have no jurisdiction over that whatsoever.
No, we do, though.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Or they do, I don't.
yeah.
Commission.
What can we get, as a whole, as far as, environmental benefits from the removal of that tree? Can we kind of press people to actually start planting trees for removal of trees?
Sure. Within reason, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
it's
that's something that
possible,
I would
yeah.
like to do. Because there is no ordinance as far as, as far as West Springfield and my area goes, there is no ordinance that says if you remove a tree, you have to replace X amount of trees, based on,
I'm over here in the Merrick section on Hanover Street. I've never been there in my life, but I'm gonna show you this, watch. I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna draw my building. This is somebody's house.
sorry, just to keep on going. I mean, that's a conversation that I think that the Forestry Division and the Conservation
Yeah, I
Commission-
mean, certainly we could do that. I mean, the commission could do that. For example, this person either would be required to file a notice of intent or was given a negative determination,
Yeah.
which allowed him to do the work. One of the conditions could be, well, we asked that you replace it. One of the better things would be if we had funding attached to that we could say, hey, we're going to incentivize you to do that.
Yeah, we can add X amount of dollars to
Yeah.
the removal of the tree.
Or we
if
can
you-
work to discount or,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So on this one here, I'm gonna add a tree. Pretend, see, there's no trees in these people's yard? Well, this thing's gonna tell us where to plant it, where we can get the most benefits from an energy standpoint on energy savings. Because I didn't even mention how much you can save on heating and cooling. Which means if you can cool a house, you don't have to use the air conditioner or fan as much. That means you produce less electricity back at the generation plant that burns oil, gas, or coal. That means we have cleaner air, global climate change impacts are reduced. So here it is, so I'm gonna just get rid of this thing here. And I'm just gonna plant this 5-inch sugar maple tree right there. And I'm gonna go and plant it right here, and say we planted 3 of them, but I'm gonna put it right in the front of their house, okay? There it is. And now, okay, there's the tree, see it? And I scroll over it, and it tells me it's a 5-inch, blah, blah, blah. Current annual savings, $3.71. But let's estimate this tree over the next 50 years. I'm gonna calculate it, and it should give me a number here that will show that this tree has some values. And this is what you can use if you worked in a little you can put this on an iPad. That's what we do in Springfield when we had the tornado. We used this exact program to go out with people, and we pulled up that web and said, here's where you're gonna plant your tree because you get the most benefits. And they said, no, I don't want it there because I want it over here because I want it near my patio that will shade there. And then we said, well, no, we'll give you 2 trees and plant them. So that was the kind of cool thing about being able to talk to. And when you get engaged with conversations with people, certainly it's gonna be a great opportunity. So here you go. The 5-inch sugar maple will provide us an overall benefits of $4. And then it tells you in stormwater, air quality, CO2, but it can also check on stormwater, and it's intercepting 317 gallons of rainfall, and it avoids 43 gallons of runoff. I can look at the energy savings here. Now, it's costing me money to put that in front of that house in the winter because the tree still has structure and it's blocking the sun, okay? So maybe that wasn't the best choice because I didn't use the web. It wanted it around back, but I wanted one right in front. So I'm sort of cheated myself out of the benefits. It's costing me a little bit. They outweigh each other in the long run. If you place the tree in the proper spot, they're all going to be pluses. And then air quality here, it tells us how many pounds of everything. And you can look here, and then our carbon stored and sequestered, or avoided.
So can you show me, so go back to the energy and let's go to the, 50 years in the future.
Yeah, let's do that. So right here, we're gonna go here to future year in 2073. Well, betting starts on Friday in Mass. Do you wanna bet that I'll still be alive?
Yeah.
You gonna put $20 on it?
Sure, why not?
2073? I won't be here.
Are you going to be at Pheasants Crossing?
But here you go. So it's 50 years, sugar maple will grow to 16 inches.
Chair.
Oh, Mr. Chair, sorry.
So you double your KWH savings in the summertime. You're up to 116 KWH.
Yeah, but now that's just one single tree. Let's regreen the Merrick section and see what we get. And this is what you guys aren't agreeing to Gateway City.
No, because we're not in Gateway City.
Right, we're not. We are a green community, but not a gateway.
Dave, what's the total for 23 to 73?
All right.
This house,
I am so excited that you're asking questions. It means you've been listening. That's just, you sometimes,
No, this is interesting.
so here you go. Kevin, it's still costing us money to have that tree right there.
well, I don't know. I mean, gas is a lot cheaper than electric. 120 therms versus 5,000 436 kWh.
That's the summer, is kilowatt in the summer, and then the therms is the winter cost. Kilowatt is for cooling and therms is for heating. That's the way it is.
Until you electrify the economy.
Yeah, depending on the cooling or heating system.
Yeah. Now we're going to heat pumps, so you don't need, it's gonna be all
Well, it
electric.
assumes gas here. We're measured in therms, but still, 5,000 kWh is pretty significant.
Okay, so let me do one other thing here. And this is what they've done, oh, here it is. So I can look here, and it shows you air quality, each one of these are spelled out, okay? So winter savings, you can see it's down here in the pit, so it's actually costing us money. So how do I go and here's the total to date, okay? So it's only giving you $25 till today. But how can I go back here? Watch this. I'm gonna move this tree. I'm gonna delete it, okay? And now I'm gonna move the tree over here. I don't know what's over there, I didn't look, but I'm just moving it to a different
North.
location. I wanna just see if I can get rid of that winter
Yeah,
cost.
we're assuming there's adequate planting space over there.
Yeah, I've never been on that street, okay?
Good luck.
So let's keep going. We're gonna go after.
What street are we on?
I have a job.
Hanover.
There's a cemetery over there that I told Marcus about, right?
Yeah.
That we want to put in a CPA grant to do some tree planting for community preservation.
Yeah, it's pretty sparse. It needs some
Yeah.
trees.
So yeah, the tree committee is, they're gonna be doing some trimming over there in the
Why do I
next few
notice
weeks.
this stuff when I drive around? Because it's my job. I'm supposed to be retired, everybody. I'm 66, so no one sticks around working for the federal government after 65.
You must love your job.
I wouldn't be here tonight if I didn't, right? It's crazy. Why would I do this? I wanted to come and talk to you guys from that first visit here when I was trying to defend poor practices in wetland areas. I wasn't defending anything. I was just doing the drawing. Sorry, this is coming back up. There you go. Okay, so let's see now. Let's go to our future year. Here's our total. Okay, look, we got rid of that, winter savings is now going up here, see it?
Yep.
So that's because we moved it, and let's see our energy use.
So you're getting the benefit of the wind block
Yeah.
without the detriment of the lack of solar gain.
If we can get trees on the northwest side of the house, you know how, are you in energy? No?
Yeah.
You are-
That's what he
okay.
does.
So, your brother too, he went to building construction technology at UMass, but what they told me is if your house is insulated so well, the cold air blows in, and it goes through your house and blows the warm air out. Is that make sense?
Yeah, when the wind blows, if your house isn't well air sealed,
Yeah,
you're just, it's like, it just sucking the air out as it goes by.
that's what they're saying. So, you know, you have, there's so many different things that, you know, you have, and this is where environmental justice fits in. You know, I'm convinced the best thing that happened in Springfield, and it maybe was here too, was a tornado. Because we got new, well-insulated houses with new windows, new roofs, people that took new pride in their neighborhood. They kept their investment, they're staying there, and we were able to do that. So out of every bad thing comes some good things,
The
and
difference, I think, here is you guys did a great job in replanting, whereas here, they're afraid of trees still.
you
Yeah.
know why? Because we did an tree analysis immediately following, within 2 days. I did it as part of my job at the Forest Service. We had the strike team come in with all these Forest Service people. They ran around, we did it, we presented it, we got it to the governor's office, MEMA, and then we got it to some of the key legislators, and all of a sudden, there they were. They just, that was the week, let's see, Ed was still the city forester.
Was that 2011?
Were you there?
In 2011, I was still in Colorado, so.
Okay, so he wasn't there, but we planted 1,600 trees in 4 weeks in the middle of July following the tornado, which was crazy.
I hope you watered them.
And we had nearly 100% survival rate, because everybody watered and took care of them, and they appreciated it. But anyway, that's another story for another day. So the air quality project, I'll send it over to Mark, and he might be able to distribute it with you. I'll send you a couple links to the iTree stuff, and then iTree works, the MyTree, you just go to, search by MyTree, and they'll come up with iTree tools, click on MyTree, and they'll work on your smartphone. So you can take your smartphone, tablet, or laptop out in the field. But, you know, I've been working on iTree since, since 2011. 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, 2032, 2033, 2034, 2035, 2036, 2037, 2038, 2039, 2040, 2041, 2042, 2043, 2044, 2045, 2046, 2047, 2048, 2049, 2050, 2051, 2052, 2053, 2054, 2055, 2056, 2057, 2058, 2059, 2060, 2061, 2062, 2063, 2064, 2065, 2066, 2067, 2068, 2069, 2070, 2071, 2072, 2073, 2074, 2075, 2076, 2077, 2078, 2079, 2080, 2081, 2082, 2083, 2084, 2085, 2086, 2087, 2088, 2089, 2090, 2091, 2092, 2093, 2094, 2095, 2096, 2097, 2098, 2099, 2000, I can't say it.
For a while.
Since Jesus had a paper route, if you're religious, but it's a long time ago.
Well, yeah, this is very educational, enlightening. I can certainly see uses to inform us as we look at projects. So, yeah.
And anything, if you guys, folks, need any help, just let me know. Be happy to help Marcus, and Mark pull things together. And Nate is always a contributor to he works with the nonprofit in Springfield, Regreen Springfield. So it doesn't matter as long as he's planting trees. He's happy.
All right, that's
And
good.
I do want to apologize for calling the chairman Kev
No,
or
that's okay.
Kevin, because I took the liberty of feeling
As a former student, you get the right.
Oh, there you go. All right. So but I appreciate the time and your commitment to what you guys do, folks do for your community, because no one here is getting paid, and you come after work. I did it for 6 years in Springfield, and sometimes it's a thankless job, but an important job. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, maybe Marcus, and you can we're doing the 250th this year, 2,500 new trees.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
there you
so,
Oh, we don't have a second.
Or
Yeah,
250,000
that would be
new trees.
great. What our intention is, we're gonna do an arboretum in the common. And we're hoping to get like level 1 status.
good.
And then plant some new trees in the common as well. But I have to talk to the historic commission as well. So, but if any of you are interested, I do have the iTree canopy information. I wrote up like a 20-page management plan. It's just kind of sitting on the shelf right now. But I can send it over to Mark, and he can share it with the
Yeah, it might be
commission.
worth following up. Again, it's gets the conversation out into the world. I
Yeah.
mean, I know we don't have millions of viewers, but we might have a few.
It's everybody helps.
That's right.
Get some articles in that record, because everybody reads it. I know they do. I see it when I come over here to West Springfield. I see them laying around in different places that I frequent.
Yeah, they have good circulation here. All right, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, commissioners, is there anything else before we call it? All right, thanks everyone for attending. Meeting adjourned at 6:58.